Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's Robin here. So this is my channel, Oracle Rising. So this video is a continuation of the one I did about the 3D reality. I'll pop the link down below in case you haven't started there. So I'm talking about moving through 3D to 4D and eventually 5D. So this is going to be starting with 4D and then I'll crack on into fifth dimension reality. So obviously the fourth dimension comes after the third dimension, and this would be sort of a step up or an ascension where you're just sort of starting to have your eyes open to things around you and possibly recognize just how powerful you are as your own entity. Your perceptions could have been shaken, your ideals could have been thrown off kilter by something that you've seen. I find this can really link into stop watching television, and you're open to new possibilities, new ideas that you could have been brought up understanding and learning. So the fourth dimension is it's sort of a bridge between 3 and 5D. And I just had a thought the other day because I've been thinking about this series of videos for a while. You know, what if this is what people call the midlife crisis, so that you just kind of tune it out, when people start to think, well, is this all there is? And then they start to really look outside of what they're comfortable with or what they've been, I want to say, indoctrinated to believe, like growing up and like getting married and having the kids and having the house. Is that all there is? No, there isn't. And that's just part of what we're trained as good humans to do. Like, behave yourself, go get married, go have children, be responsible, invest here, buy that, and then you sort of have this uneasiness that there's more to life, and there's definitely more to life. So that sort of age of discomfort, and it could happen at any age. I'm just saying it's going to be sort of an era of maybe you're going through the dark night of the soul, or you're just starting to think, well, I don't really believe this anymore, so there's got to be more to it, right? So you're outgrowing the 3D aspects, but they're still there to a certain degree because they're going to be very familiar to you, and it's going to be probably how you've lived your entire life, right? So, but now you're getting to a point in 4D where you're driven to gain knowledge and understanding of awakening. You could be coming across gurus, and your gurus could evolve as you evolve. Like, I have my own, and I've phased some of them out because they've taught me what I need to know in that part of my life. And just for some of you, I listened to Paramahansa Yogananda, Paramahansa Nityananda, and then I found Alan Watts, Bob Proctor to a certain degree, and now I listen a lot to Steve Noble because he's who I resonate with right now. So this could really help to awaken you, and you could be starting to meditate and do stuff like that. So this is judgment of others in the 3D reality may surface. The need to sound alarms and ring bells and expose the lies of society, which is kind of what I'm doing right now, because I think people just need to have their eyes opened to how we're being used. A friend of mine, he said that people are basically tax cattle, so that people in upper echelons, they can live to a certain extent. I don't understand why politicians are millionaires. You know what I mean? That just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, the people that they're serving are, like, by and large paying the salary, and like, why are people living in establishments like the White House? Is that even necessary? Like, why is running a nation so full of pomp and circumstance, and why are we paying for all of this BS when people are starving and people are homeless? Why are we funding wars? And you could start asking questions like that, like, why why are we paying however $1 billion into a defense when we could be helping people, and this is like everywhere, right? So if you have a look around, like, and who is responsible for that? And you could start asking questions, but and then start judging people who are still entrenched in the matrix, right? Because you're like, oh, why can't you see this? But like, where were you before you saw it? So it's really, sort of a double-edged sword. You don't really necessarily want to judge people for being where they are, because you were probably there at a certain point. So, and people will have their awakening when they're ready for it, or they just might not. So, but that's all part of the 4D, like shedding of the 3D reality, and really wanting to wake people up. And you can't wake people up that are not ready to understand or hear a message. That's why people are said to have their conspiracy theorist, or they're crazy. I saw this old, and I forget which tribe it was. They were saying that the people that we think are raving lunatics, they're just hearing messages on a different level. So they're probably a lot smarter than us, and they're being banished to the streets for a reason. Like, when you start to look at conspiracy theories and how, I could probably do a whole video on this, and I will. The people that are the whistleblowers, where are they? Think about that for a second. But anyway, so we'll sort of move on to the 5th dimension. You've woken up from the 3rd dimension. You've gone through that really uncomfortable period, the transition time of the 4th dimension. And now into 5D, right? So you're focused on healing yourself. You really sort of bring everything back to yourself, and realize that everything you need is within you. Your God is within you. You are God. I read this book called 3 Magic Words. The author evades me, but I mean, it's really eye-opening, you guys. Really an interesting read, and probably very difficult for people that were brought up going to a traditional church, or however you follow traditional religion. So, but it can be very groundbreaking of a read. So love becomes the prevalent vibrational reality. So when we talk about vibration, like, hate is at the bottom of the scale. If you want to think of energetic vibrations as sort of a rainbow, and it just keeps on going all the way up, with everything you can think of in between, with love being at the top. So this is why John Lennon said, all you need is love. All you need is love. And what happened to John Lennon? So the people that are trying to bring love into the world, if they're not doing it in the right way, man, they're cut down, right? So, or edited or censored, or have their videos removed, you know what I'm saying? So choosing experience with understanding and love rather than fear and judgment. If you look at how people are operating, by and large, it's a fear mentality. And this is probably through things like video games, movies, TV, programming, and then news. Like, if you go out, and meet your neighbors, they're probably really nice people, but we're being really trained to mistrust every single person and every single thing around you, and just being afraid of everything, and choosing things out of fear instead of love. So that's something that's really deep, and I really want to suggest that you guys kind of look at all these points and observe yourself, and make your own notes, and do your own research. Like I say in every one of my videos, do your own research. Like, I'm here to share my opinion and what I have found, and hope that it will do you some good. So understanding that God and Source is within you. And this is where your true power lies. Like, every single one of us here is the universe having an experience. Like, every single person and thing around us is part of the universe. And the universe has sprouted us to have experiences. So we're really all part of a collective, but we are individual for our duration, our lifetime on the planet Earth. And this stuff can feel a little bit, like I said before, if you're not really there, it can feel like total nonsense. Like, what is Robin even talking about? That girl's crazy. I'm gonna zip off the video and leave a scorching comment. So like if you're not ready to hear the message, you're just not, and that's cool. But understanding how powerful you are, and that can really take a bit of a transition for some people. So let's see, the last thing I have here is that fear subsides as the knowledge of love and inner power grows. So I have a friend, and anytime I want to say, you know, oh, well, this guy or this person or this situation, it was just total hell, he always says, oh, hun, send them love. So that's something I'm still working on. I don't by any means claim to be in the 5th dimension and that I'm like ready to be your guru or spiritual leader or whatever. I'm still in my own path, my own ascension path, and learning to look at everything with love. For some things it's harder than others, especially when somebody's being a real dick. So, but that's part of being evolved into the 5D reality, the 5th dimension, where love is the highest resonating, and you don't have room for any more of these low-level vibrations like hate, anger, greed, jealousy, all of that stuff. It falls away from you. And that's definitely where I'm trying to go. And I hope that you guys are finding my videos a little bit useful as you ascend through your levels and find the love and the God source within you. So guys, I hope this was a helpful one, and I'm gonna leave it there. So I'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Bye.